Hey Twan, it's 2:15, HANA Café.
Oh, you're right. Today we will discuss SAP community events with Svea Becker. And one of those community events is SAP Inside Track the Netherlands. And I'm really happy to announce that we will organize a new event at June 11 with a physical event here at SAP headquarters where we can all meet again in person. Jan, can you bring the coffee to our cafe?
Yes, I'm thirsty. I'm preparing the coffee.
Weird coffee, but okay, let's go.
HANA Café Nederland is een podcast met nieuws vanuit de SAP-wereld. In het café spreken de gasten en stamgasten over ontwikkelingen, innovaties, events of praten ze gewoon weer eventjes bij. Laten we snel naar binnen gaan.
Just in time for HANA Café Netherlands. Welcome back. Welcome to the online viewers, but also welcome back to the podcast listeners that want to listen to our podcast about SAP community events. And Jan, happy that you are here as well.
Ja, ich habe 2 verrückliche Tassen Kaffee, aber ohne Milch, ohne Sahne.
So I know that's an international meeting, but in German would be new for me, Jan. Das ist neu für mich, ja? Ja.
Ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ja, sehr gut.
But I'm embarrassed to speak it because my pronunciation is so bad. So I'll leave that up to Svea.
To Svea.
Yeah.
So maybe it's wise to then also see who's in our cafe today.
Oh yeah.
Svea, maybe you can introduce yourself. You can choose in German or in English.
And what about Netherlands?
Oh yeah, we love that. Bring it on.
Okay, let me stick to English. I guess this is better. So my name is Leah Becker. I'm actually from SAP and from the SAP community. I'm working for SAP for almost 22 years, but within the community since 2017, I guess, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I'm really keen on being part of the community. So this is not only my profession, but also my passion, because I learned so many nice guys there. It's like a little family. It's really good to meet everyone from all around the world. And so I used to be really often on events, attending events. And I guess that's what we want to talk about today,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Professional passion. That's nice. Yeah, we will. And I saw just coming in our cafe, Ronald as well.
Yes, indeed.
You brought your own cafe.
It's Friday afternoon. It's time for a beer, and after such a perfect introduction from Svea, I thought let's see if I can join and bring something to the table as well. I know something about community. Like you guys, I'm a co-organizer of the sitNL, and also been a proud SAP mentor for many years. So good to be in the cafe again.
Welcome back. Yeah, so you're also sort of a regular. Eh? So of course Jan is a regular, and I'm a regular in our HANA Café. So if you have any questions during the show, then ask them via the chat. And then we can answer your questions if you're watching live. And if you're not watching live, but you still have questions, please reach out to us via Twitter, via LinkedIn, via any kind of the social media. That's okay.
For example, via SAP community.
Via SAP community, of course. So we come from, of course, we are still in strange times, but let's not go into that today. But we come from strange times during the pandemic when we were not able to have a family reunion. As you just mentioned, that it feels like a family. And that's also the feeling that I have when when I think somewhere in 1874 or something, I joined the SAP community. Now it's a very long time ago, but the meetups always feel like family. But of course, during COVID, Svea, maybe you can look back a little bit at the past 2 years. How did the community go during the COVID times?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was quite more easier because everyone was sitting in their home office at the computer. So it was more easy to connect online. And I think it has been really a boost for the community to increase the online visits and so on. And what I found really, really good and interesting to see that after a couple of months, so when everyone came a part of these staring situation and kind of panic situation, people came back to us and said, hey, we want to do events online because we cannot sit here all alone. We need the community. We need our peers there, our friends, our family. And so this was the time when the online events started. So usually SAP Inside Track, as you said, you paused this time of the pandemic, but others, they created one online. And of course, it's a little bit different format then, because it's not in person, but it was still good to see each other. And so I joined a lot of SAP Stammtisch as well in the virtual format. And it was great to be connected, to still be connected with other community members.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe Ronald, did you join during these 2 years? Did you join any online events?
Quite a few. Not really community driven, but lots of webinars and virtual tech heads, of course, and those type of events, which in the beginning was pretty good and pretty nice because you sit in the comfort of your own little home or your home office and you look at these webinars, but I got bored quite soon, actually. So I'm quite happy that we are running back into in non-virtual events, and I'm happy for that. So
Okay. Yeah, community events. Is there? Do we have somewhere the history written down, Svea, when the community events within SAP started?
Yeah, so I think you are in the community since '74. Isn't that the question for you?
Very good. Yeah, so I think I hopped on the train somewhere in 2007 as a pre-event to SAP TechEd organized by Marilyn Pratt and Craig Jamil. But the developers already had some community events, and then Marilyn came with the Business Process Experts event, and I think that's the first community event that I joined. Somewhere in Berlin, just before TechEd.
Wasn't that a night during TechEd sometime where we had this?
Yeah, the first night.
I can still remember that we had those sessions during TechEd at night when Craig and this guy from Red Monk, they had.
Yeah.
You remember this guy?
I know.
They had this topic on Flex and the latest and greatest on Web 2.0 and that sort of thing. But that's ages ago. That's all before HTML5 and that sort of things. And I can still remember that there was a second spin-off for the more non-functional guys to do things with BPM and workflows and that sort of thing to basically emphasize the other parts that we had in the NetWeaver stack, right? So we had application development in the NetWeaver stack, and then we had BPM, and later on we had integration as well. But BPM was the second stream, I think.
Yeah, the developers already had their own events, and then later on, the business process experts joined as well.
The SAP community was formerly SAP Developer Network and then SAP Community Network. So that's maybe the answer why the developers had the meetings first. And I guess the reason behind is really not only meeting virtual, but when we are together at an SAP TechEd, why not having also more connections to each other and build a network? And this is all what it is about, right? Being networking and meeting people all over the world and getting maybe answers to your questions or sharing your expertise with anyone.
Yeah, I really like that part because, of course, when we are in the field, working for customers, working for consultancy firms, we are all sort of competitors. But at a community event, maybe it's an open door, but it feels like family because you just share the passion for development or for technologies or for BI or for business BPM. And then you are together, then you just share experiences and you learn from each other.
I really think those events, by the way, those evenings, that they were basically the foundation of those community events or proceedings, if you like. I went to TechEd, and when I went to TechEd, I was always like, you have this speaker, God is a DJ, and you have the audience, and the thresholds to approach this guy and to talk to him and to ask basically any questions you like was tremendously high. literally, he was like on a stage of 2 or 3 meters. You would have to look up in order to talk to him, right? And then we had this Adobe event that was so low threshold, and we had this event where people like the so-called teachers, the gods, the lecturers, they were just walking through the audience, and you could actually touch them, and they gave you assignments. And those assignments weren't too difficult, and they explained what those assignments were about and how they went and what you're doing them for. And whenever you didn't get through these assignments, you always had your peers next to you, and this is basically where the networking really started. And this is something that that for me was an eye opener. Instead of just going in there and sitting there as in the audience and asking sometimes the most obvious questions to the speakers, you really got to talk to them, and you really got to network. And this is basically when the whole developer network, as you mentioned it, kind of sunk in. And this is also the reason that I started looking besides TechEd, what other events were there. And this is when I noticed that you organized one in the Netherlands. I thought and at first I didn't even know that you were organizing it from a community's perspective. I thought you were with SAP or something, and SAP was organizing this. I thought this is really cool. It's a mini TechEd. I'm going there. Yeah. So I don't have to wait for this huge TechEd event in Barcelona or something to happen. I can just go to this mini TechEd and have a much lower threshold type of event and actually get to speak to people. And then I saw you on stage and you told me that you're not with SAP. I thought, okay, you can have a microphone, I can have a microphone. And this is when the whole sharing portion sunk into me as well. So first of all, it was the whole community thought and idea that came to light. And then eventually when I actually went to one of those Inside Tracks, it was sharing is giving, right? And sharing is receiving. So whenever you share, people tend to give you feedback and other type of knowledge in return. So it's so beneficial to have these type of events like Inside Tracks and like now, in the last few years, those webinars as well. Although I do have my ideas that those webinars weren't as effective.
Webinars feel like work.
Yeah, that's for one, but also you don't have very easy opportunity to network anymore. And this is, I think, also the reason that I'm very happy to be able to go to real life events again. Apart from the fact that it's really nice to see each other again, to see how many gray hair everyone has, or how bald people have become, or how many Corona kilos are there.
Did I say that I need to cancel my registration after you said?
Well, I thought that's what you were there for, right? Because you promised to do something with soft skills and exercise and that sort of thing to actually get rid of those Corona kilos.
I mean, still remember in the SAP Inside Track in Frankfurt, where we all got outside, and it was in the spring, because it was also with the flowers that Christian always takes care of, and then you had the exercise outside, and I really miss those kind of events. I think the first Inside Track is somewhere around 2009, I'm not sure, and I think the first one was in London. And then I heard about the event, and I was really passionate about the community day just before TechEd, and I thought, hey, let's bring it to the Netherlands so we can organize an SAP event capturing the SAP TechEd content in Dutch. And then we had all kind of people participating that did not speak Dutch, so we still had to do it in English, but okay. So that's how the SAP Inside Track in the Netherlands, it was in the basement of the cyber office. And I think we had
the basement bar.
Yeah, in the cafe. Yeah. And I think we had 25 people or something. And at some point in time, during all those 11 years that the Inside Track in the Netherlands has been organized, we grew to 100 people participating on a Saturday, sharing their passion, sharing knowledge. So Svea, since we have been in this pandemic area and a lot of webinars, are there already any events, community events that have been in person already?
So we had end of last year, there were two events I remember that were hybrid. And also, I think in Latin America, there were some events in person. So it's always depending, of course, on the local restrictions and the situation because of the pandemic. And so for me, I spoke at 2 hybrid events, virtual, so that people were there and having the conversation over there and met over there, but I only connected with them virtually. And I found this idea also really good because this gives really everyone the opportunity to join. But of course, it's always having this technical environment to be set up. Yeah, I mean, this is not something everyone can support. So sometimes it's easier to have an in-person event. Yeah. But what I really like on this idea is that people not just put their head in the sand, but try to proceed and try to continue meeting within the community, local or of course, because it was virtually, it wasn't only local anymore. So I have joined some. So the event I was just talking about was one in Spain and one in Armenia.
Now, it's nice of you to say because there are people online, for example, S4CN. I'm not sure if that's your name, but I joined SIT Valencia last year, and it was a great experience to do in-person event after 1 year of pandemic. I'd love to come to the Netherlands. Well, you're welcome, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will talk English if you are here.
Yeah,
and,
that was actually the event I was referring to, Valencia.
Yeah.
There I had a community presentation.
Ah, cool. And Neil Paxton says hi.
Oh,
so maybe we can.
Neil, good to see you. Not to see you, but good that you're with us.
Yeah.
Cannot see you.
Yeah. So we thought about so we had I think 11 episodes of the SAP Inside Track in the Netherlands. We always did it 2 to 4 weeks after the SAP TechEd to capture the TechEd event. Last 2 years we did not do so because we could not organize due to regulation. We thought about doing something online, and the whole organization team said it feels like work.
Yeah, and it's a so many webinar, and it's a full day, and it's a Saturday, and traction, and.
But so now we're happy. So we changed then the calendar to June now. So actually we are now we are organizing SAP Inside Track in the Netherlands for June 11, which is a physical event at SAP the Netherlands headquarters, and hope to see everyone in person again.
Yeah, also keep in mind that previously we were organizing the Inside Tracks just after the TechEds, and most companies actually did that because of the fact that they didn't want to send the whole enchilada to the Inside Track or to TechEd, right? Because that's way too expensive to reimburse all the hotels and the flights and the event itself and the food and whatever. So they usually send a delegation, and most of the times that delegation then has to explain to the rest of that company whatever was discussed.
Yeah, what they learned.
Yeah, exactly. So thing is, the SAP TechEd nowadays is virtual. It's free, it's online, so you can, and it's recorded. So everyone has the opportunity now to see those the sessions they want. So there's no real need anymore to have some sort of coming back day to share everything that happened just after TechEd. So yeah,
it's still good to discuss what has been announced.
Absolutely, and also the announcements are not exclusively made during TechEd anymore, and also not just during Sapphire.
A cloud company, right?
It's a cloud company, and time to market, and whenever something's ready, it should just be pushed to the market. So that's also a reason that now I think it's a great idea. Now we're halfway through the year, in June, not yet, in June, to see whatever has been coming up by SAP, to look at the latest greatest tech, independent of the Inside Track, and maybe TechEd. Keep it well. Let me put it this way. For
me, your coffee.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. For me, Inside Track is almost a more highlight type of event than the TechEd is. So that's why the Inside Track is always in the back of my mind. Be disconnected from TechEd nowadays because of the way things are organized, because of the announcements that are happening throughout the year. Because of COVID, and because June is a very nice month to have a gathering, not only because the fact that it's usually great barbecue weather, but also because of the fact that things like pandemics and viruses and that sorts of annoyances
Hopefully.
are usually a lot less pervasive than in the winter.
Yeah.
It's also good to have it a bit later because you actually you can digest all the news. So you have a couple of weeks after tech, or even months in this case, let's say, to for yourself get an idea of what is all this new tech which has been introduced. And the great part about online or about events which are, let's say, on-prem or in a live environment is, of course, that you can actually ask critical questions to the speaker. And what happens at webinars, it's a lot of marketing often, even though people want to say what's on their mind, but still you can hide a bit. If you get a bit of a difficult question, you can also ignore it, let's say, because it's part of the webinar. If you're in a live event and you ask something to the speaker, then you actually have to answer it. And I think, especially during SITs, what I've seen in the past is the big advantage is that you always get an honest answer back. So it's not a marketing answer, you get an honest answer. And that's the biggest plus of having, let's say, live events, I think. And of course, drinking beer with your peers is an enormous plus. I mean, the best things happen in informal settings. You have the best energy. So by far, for me, that's the best thing to have. So I'm very happy that we're back in this situation. Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah. So what did you plan for the SAP Inside Track in the Netherlands at June 11? What do you plan?
From the BI perspective, you mean, Twan?
Well, I think that's one of the nice things of our own little small events is that we do have, most of the times, we had 3 tracks, so 2 development tracks and 1 BI track, and you are responsible for the BI track.
Indeed. So I've got my list in front of me with all my notes. So actually the background blurs it a bit, but I just scribbled during the day speakers I would like to invite. So this morning I've invited a couple of people to come and speak. So basically what I'm always looking forward to is having chats with product management or development or whatever. So I try to get these guys into a car and let them drive to the Netherlands, in this case to Den Bosch. So already invited some people, and it will be the usual topics. I've got one special topic, which is about artificial intelligence. I'm looking forward to that because that's actually a case which has been developed at a customer. So it's not a marketing story, but it's actually, giving some bones, let's say, to what it actually can do for a company and how it can be a big plus. And then the usual suspects: Analytics Cloud, Cloud Planning, DWC, the BW Bridge. So that normal stuff will also be part of sitNL again.
Cool.
So that's good.
Yeah, I always like that. But that's also for the community event. So most of the times, at least the events that I joined were on a Saturday, because during the week you are at a customer, you are just busy with work, and then when you try to explain that to someone, are you going to something work related on a Saturday? And then you have to explain that, of course. But what I really like is that the people that actually gather around work-related on a Saturday are really the top enthusiastic people, the peers that you like to connect with, like to have drinks with, but also to share the experiences and learn from each other, which, that gives it a special vibe.
Yeah, it's not really work-related. It's more like therapy.
Therapy. Okay, you need therapy, Jan?
Sometimes, once a year, preferably.
Svea, I think one of my...
this was also something which impressed me the most when I was at my first SAP TechEd in this area of community. It was in 2017 in Barcelona, and that was the first time I met all you guys and many more, of course. But this passion about being there on their own cost in their spare time, that was really something which impressed me so much. And this is also what I like about these SAP Inside Tracks, or whatever you want to call it. It's really driven by yourself. So you go there because you want to meet, you want to share your knowledge, you want to get your answers. So this is something what I realized, in the beginning, that it's everything on top. I mean, for me, it started with being my job, but for a lot of others, not. So they just did it on top of their usual job, and this is really cool.
Yeah. So of course, you never stop dreaming. And one of my dreams was in the early years organizing our own Inside Track in the Netherlands, but also visiting our sister event in Frankfurt, where we did also a collaboration with a lot of times. And once I said, I should have 1 year that I can visit all the Inside Tracks all over the world. That would be a great dream. Unfortunately, not yet realized, but never stop dreaming. But now I think, Svea, you visited a lot of Inside Tracks. So you know the golden formula to organize a successful event, right?
Yeah, you said it right. I visited them, but I did not organize them. So I have to say they were often really, really similar. Of course, sometimes it's a little bit depending on the location. Yeah, the Netherlands, Hertogenbosch, it's close to Germany, Frankfurt as well. So, for example, to my place. So that's not a big issue. But I joined also, for example, in Riga. So that was really interesting. But yeah, and also Timișoara in Romania. So there, of course, most of the times local people come together. But the setup and everything, that was almost the same. And there you can really see that's the goal of those meetings is to connect to each other and to network. Yeah. So yeah, there was 2018 and 2019, I visited a lot of different ones. Yeah. But it's good to see, and even in locations where are not really often, like I said, in Romania, the people are so happy. I think there were more than 100 participants. Everyone was so happy and grateful, and I got really good connections. This was really a cool event.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. We kept our event on 100 people at the moment. I think that's what given the times of the pandemic and that sort of thing, we have to be a bit cautious, and so we kept it on 100 people, but it's going like crazy. I guess everyone is keen on meeting with their peers or friends or loved ones after 2.5 years. Just to give you an example, we haven't even shared the agenda, we haven't even shared the keynote, but we already have 40 people that signed up.
Yeah.
And we didn't even officially announce it yet, because that's what we're here for now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people rely on your expertise, and because you're really well organized and you had great events in the past. In 2019, I was also in Netherlands first time. So people just know that you will have great content. And also this is something very special about the events. So it's not really said that you have formed the agenda, but you will ask people to come and they can propose their sessions. This is also a little bit different when you compare it with other events where there's a set agenda where you have to stick to. So this is more casual with an SAP Inside Track, and this is also really a cool feature. And what I also want to mention, it's a great opportunity for people who wants to speak in front of an audience but are maybe not so familiar with or so comfortable with it. So it's a really great, fantastic opportunity to train yourself, because often everyone is a native speaker, so you do not have to fear about language issues. And it's as you said, you can touch the speaker. They are on the same ground. It's not that they are on the stage or something. So I think this is also really cool about these community-driven events.
Yeah, maybe this year I don't want to be a speaker.
You don't want to be touched. Oh, that's a difficult. Let's not go into that.
Too much info.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have some info on what's going to happen on that Saturday already, Twan? Something
I think
that you can reveal.
Because we jumped right into it, and I always like when we are in the cafe that we just jump into the topic. But let's not forget our co-organizers, Wim Snoep from Innovation and Thomas from SOA People, and of course Ronald, who just explained that he's organizing the BI track, and that we all 5 together. And I did not. Oh, I'm always afraid that I forget someone. No, I did not forget someone.
Not yet. No.
No. Yeah, because I think Fred and Roel, but they had other occupations too.
Yeah,
this
but
year.
they always
They are
they
still
always
part of
say
the
they won't
family.
help, but they will
But
help.
they live abroad. No, but those 5 are organized Inside Track, and yeah, it will be a lot of knowledge. It will be a lot of fun to be back together. We'll of course make sure that we have some sandwiches to eat and some dinner to have and some drinks. But mainly the people are coming and they're joining because of the agenda that we have. And
That we don't have actually, because
not yet. But one of our enthusiastic peers is Bart van der Kamp from Accenture.
Yeah.
And he saw, I think, some tweet that you posted 2 weeks ago or something. And in the afternoon, I already get, hey, I have this session idea. Can we already post it? Oh, hold on, Jan is still busy with the
site
form.
ready yet.
Yeah. So that's the fun thing that people are willing to share.
Yeah.
The barrier is really low, as you just explained, Svea. Just to share with your peers, and then maybe later on you can also share with customers or an SAP event or an official event, which is an Inside Track is not an official event, but it's nice to talk with peers. So we will have a lot of sessions. We have a separate BI track, and we will see if we have 1 tech track or 2 tech tracks, but we'll see, and hopefully we'll meet a lot of people again.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that you were talking about websites and that sort of thing. We do have the website ready now.
Yeah.
So, ready, and it's in
What
the
is the
scaffold.
link to the website?
sitNL.nl.
Very difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So sitNL.nl. Anyhow, so there's a possibility to register yourselves and be fast, because the tickets are really going fast, even without announcing that the event will take place and also announcing an agenda.
Yeah.
Also, there's a possibility to sign up for speakers already.
Yeah.
So if you scroll down on the page, you'll have the possibility to register yourself as a speaker rather than a participant.
Yeah, I have a very nice remark from Robin, also a regular in our HANA Café. But Robin says it's a Pavlov reaction. First, I overhear someone mentioning sitNL. Second, I start looking for a sign-up page.
Yeah, so it's there.
Yeah. So no need for an agenda or something. I will just visit. And of course, I think Robin visited already in the first Inside Track and never left.
And he's a regular speaker as well. So I'm really curious what he comes up with this year.
I mean, that's also one of the biggest compliments I get out of this, is that actually without having an agenda, people already are willing to sign up, let's say, and sacrifice their Saturdays. That is really something which I find extraordinary, is that apparently in the last 11 years we did something so good, let's say, that people are already signing up without actually having one speaker or a single speaker on the agenda. So for me, that's one of the biggest compliments we get as organizers. So that's also the drive to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And set the bar higher and higher. But, for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge. But I heard some good news about a keynote speaker that you're trying to arrange for.
Yeah, but let's not announce that yet before it's really fixed. Otherwise,
You always try to trick you again, Twan.
yeah.
I'm trying to get commitments out of him.
Yeah, yeah. I also from the keynote speaker. Now, we will make it happen, but let's not push someone in his private agenda. We will come with that later. But there was one thing we also discussed in our organization committee. We discussed, are we going to do an in-person event, or are we going for a hybrid event, or going for an online event? Or online we already discussed, but we also discussed the possibility to still broadcast the sessions. But we said no.
Yeah.
We want to have a live event in person with people joining us on site. Since we're having a sort of studio equipment over here at SAP Netherlands, we can record sessions, but we really want to emphasize that it's an in-person event, and we will not stream. We will probably record, but then we will publish those recordings after the event.
Yeah, it's like what Svea mentioned. It's really about networking and about low thresholds, about possibility to talk to speakers without having too much, baggage of webcams and technology and and eavesdropping and that sort of thing that you have to be aware of, and recording of sessions. So it's, I think it's the threshold is just lower if you go there. And I want to see those golden kilos.
But also, I still
it's a
remember
totally
back.
different vibe. I mean, a live event is such a different vibe than a recording. So, and I mean, I'm also guilty of, if I would sign up for a Saturday and it would be online, then I would say, okay, I will sign up, but I will watch it on Monday, Tuesday, or whatever day of the week I have some free time. So, I mean, for me, it makes sense that it's a live event because you get the energy of the people, and vice versa. You can network, you can have good food. If you get some sponsors, then we should be good to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me,
Also,
it makes sense to do it in real life.
I think it requires quite some technical equipment and staff to do broadcasting, because if you think of the early days, do you still remember when we were back in the basement or at the bar at Cyber, where we used this Logitech webcam, this very small webcam, and we put it on a speaker and then broadcasted the event. So the Inside Tracks in the early days were broadcasted like that via Adobe something tool.
Java based.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do something like that now, then people will just disconnect because they are not used to that quality anymore.
No, they want 4K quality.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Vincent has registered, so hopefully, Vincent, you also have entered the session proposal as well. Hi, Vincent. And hey, this S4CN guy from Valencia said, hey, just signed up. See you guys in June.
Oh, cool.
It will be my 15th stint, the first one in the Netherlands. Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Bring in the good weather.
Cool.
We're attracting an international audience now.
Yeah. But I'm not sure, I did not ask you on beforehand, Svea, but do you have any numbers that you can share with us? How many, if in the old days, when we still had in-person events, how many people over the world joined Inside Tracks? Do you have such kind of a number?
If you have asked me at the beginning of 2020, I probably had it in my mind, but now, no. But what I can tell you is that we had in 2018 and 2019 approximately each year 50 SAP Inside Tracks all over the world.
Cool.
And not everyone has 100 attendees, some only have, but only, it's sometimes because of the location. So it's always depending on where you conduct these SAP Inside Tracks. So it's between 50 and 100 participants.
But the amount of people
number.
participating is not a quality mark. So if you have an Inside Track with 15 people joining, that's great, because you have 15 people enthusiastic to share content with each other.
Absolutely, and as you said, so you are thinking about providing 2 tracks at the same time, but when the location has not the prerequisites for that, then it's not possible. Then you only have 1 track. And then, you have, of course, those people who can sit in one room. Yeah, so I think 50 is also a good number. And when I remember the first event, what Craig told me, there were less people, I think only 2 or 3 or so. They started really, really slow, right? Not slow. With a low number. Yeah, low number of participants. So I think it's a good increasement over the years.
Yeah. But I'm a little bit afraid of is if you look at people joining events, especially the online events, where we have this cancel culture that a lot of people sign up but just don't show up during the event. I'm wondering how many people are willing or daring to come to an in-person event again. I'm curious about that. I think there's still a lot of people signing up, so that will be okay. But we'll have to see that.
Yeah, I think also people can't wait.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It could be translated in something that is pessimistic. It could be also be translated in something that's very optimistic. I think people can't wait, and that's what you see with the numbers of people that signed up already. That people really enthusiastic about seeing each other again. Yeah. By the way, maybe also just to one of the questions that I got, apart from the ones that are streaming it through YouTube now, is whether we're arranging some pre-event as well.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
That's what we usually do before Inside Tracks, right? Where you have on Fridays we have.
Started with the UI5 con just before Inside Track in Frankfurt. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The community-driven UI5 con. That's what we're going to do this year probably. So UI5con has its own space in its own place and its own event, so to say. But we always try to turn the Friday before in some sort of a learning event. And it has to do with the fact that there's, well, like the guy from Valencia, there's more people coming from abroad, and they usually come in the day before because, we're starting early, right? So they come in the day before, and to give them some sort of a program for the day before, we have, done up some sort of a learning kind of thing on forehand, and that has been successful in such a way that people expect us to organize it now.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. As a pre-event. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the we do feel like organizing something. We are inclined to do so.
What kind of topics do you want to organize? Yeah.
Low code. So, and that's a nice thing. I think we discussed this morning also with Ronald. It could be a topic that is interesting for the guys that are following the tech track. But since low code is also something that could be of interest for people that follow the BI track, it could be some sort of commonality between the two tracks. So low code can be picked up by either one, right? And we will even have in that low code portion, we'll have the tools available, such as the what was it called? Visual
Basic.
Oh boy, don't get me started.
Composer.
Visual Composer. That's also a nice one.
Visual Composer, yeah.
Oh no. Process visibility. Sorry. So it didn't start with visual. Process visibility. So
Close enough.
Yeah, turning workflows into something that has business relevance again, and that's something that should be very close to the hearts of our BI folks. And it, of course, the development of those workflows, development of applications that you build with low code, that might be something that's very appealing for our tech track. So yeah. If we focus on that, it's going to be a very lovely day as well. So we're still in the process of organizing that. It's still in the works. We have very nice topics. We do that together with Wim. His company also is trying to organize half the day. So keep that in mind and put a placeholder in your agenda if you're interested in the topic.
Yeah.
For the Friday.
Which will have masterclasses.
Masterclasses on low code topics.
Low code, yeah, and I think you just touched the point that we talked about participants coming on a Saturday, but it's also that you can, if you look at all the to the ecosystem, like all the SAP partners, especially in for us in the Netherlands, like Interdops from Ronald's company, but as well people from Thomas, Expertum is also participating. Then we have innovation from Wim. They are willing to also support us as a sponsor to make sure that this event is going to happen. It's great to have the ecosystem at this kind of collaboration.
Yeah.
Is that something, Svea, that you can also see at other locations where local partners hop in and sponsor the event?
Yeah, definitely. So this is often happen. As it's an SAP, not an SAP, as it's a community-driven event, I want to say, people have a different, working at different companies. So these companies are really happy to step in, willing to provide the location or at least something for food support, something like that. So food and drinks. Yeah, it's really often, and I think it's also a part of the SAP Inside Track to be mentioned that it's a no-cost event. Yeah, so for attendees, nothing has to be paid. But of course, there are costs. So sponsorship is really appreciated. So I hope you will get a lot of sponsors after this little HANA Café here today.
Yeah, hopefully. Now, the good thing of this HANA Café setting today is that, of course, quality, Robin van het Hof. Oh my, it appears I just signed up as a speaker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Very good, Robin. Look forward.
Fortunately, we have our methods of moderation.
Yeah, exactly. But I think also, Svea, you have some surprises for speakers at community events, right?
Oh, you mean the badges?
Yes.
Yeah. So, this is a good point to mention. We have in the community those little badges you can get on your community profile. And since this year, we have reorganized all these badges because, there were so many in the past, and we wanted to change it a little bit, to give it a little more fresh spirit there. And we have a brand new attendee badge. This never have been there in the past, so this is really good a good new improvement, but you need to know the SAP community profile name, of course. So the organizers should submit those to us, SAP, so that we can assign the badges. And there are also some more new prerequisites for earning the organizer badge and the speaker badges. So I have written a blog post about it in SAP community. I definitely recommend to read it to remember all these prerequisites. So but I'm really curious about the attendee badge. I think this is a really good new thing here.
Yeah. I will share your blog post with the show notes as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on the website as well, by the way. So
Oh.
if you go to the speaker section, you'll be able to find a link to the whole "How do I become a rock star" section of Svea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And if you look at the agenda, Svea, are there a lot of events planned now for the coming months? Are they also taking advantage of hopefully that COVID now is gone, or at least less how do you say, aanwezig?
Present.
At the moment, there is nothing really scheduled as far as I know. What we see to continue are the SAP Stammtisches. So some of them go back to in-person events. But the idea of an SAP Stammtisch was always to connect the local community. And during the pandemic, they have been changed into a virtual event. But now they are going back. I think some are also trying to do a hybrid one. Or what I see this week was on Tuesday there was the SAP Stammtisch together with SAP Stammtisch Bern. So Dortmund and Bern together, and the day after the Dortmund guys met in person. So this is a possibility as well. Yeah? So as I said, the idea is to keep the local community together. I see those events are still scheduled from the SAP Inside Track. At the moment, I have to correct myself. There is one more in April. I just kept it in my mind in Sydney, but it's a virtual one.
Okay.
It's on 20th of April.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That. Yeah.
Yeah, too bad it's virtual. I would go there.
Yeah. That would be great. A great location to join. Yeah. Okay. I lost my question.
Oh,
Yeah.
You have more questions?
Talk too much, I know.
No. That's. But I forgot. Maybe you have a question.
Yeah, I had a
cool.
question to you.
Oh.
Because you were the first one that organized an Inside Track in the Netherlands. How did that come about, and why did you organize it, and what motivations it? I mean, you just mentioned that you saw the concept in London, and then you want to bring it to Netherlands. But why?
Nigel James. That was the name I was looking for earlier on. I spoke to Nigel. Yeah, I think he organized or co-organized the first community meetup. I'm not sure if it's already called the Inside Track right then, but he organized the first community meetup in the UK, and I met him, or I tried to find him at TechEd to talk to him about that, and we had a great discussion, and I loved the passion that people showed over there in that event, and we talked about the costs, about sponsorship, and I did. Why I started that discussion is because I was used to have this in-company TechEd recap sessions at my company at Capgemini I worked before, and I also at another smaller company, Top Force, and I was new at cyber, and I thought, hey, we can do this within cyber again, but I like the community perspective to share, because I also experienced it at SAP TechEd. So that's why I was talking to Nigel about that. And yeah, it turned out really great. I met you at Inside Track in the Netherlands, and I met a lot of people due to those kind of events, and then we ended up with 100 people participating, and then once we had a discussion, I remember, are we going to open up for more than 100 people? And then we said, it is a community event, so it should be possible for us to talk to everyone who joined the event, and also it should be possible to have a low barrier discussions. And then we said, okay, let's top it at 100. Because if you're going further, then maybe that's another dream, but then you will be a big event again, and then you have a stage with the people and standing up, and maybe people are afraid to approach again, and that's not what we wanted. So
Yeah, then it turns into a tech ed again.
Yeah.
Instead of friends gathering.
Now I now know my question again because we talk about communities. So I think since especially maybe I'm not really active anymore in the SAP community, only for the local events and the local HANA Café and stuff. But at TechEd last year, I saw there were a lot of changes in the community happening, also with badges, but also with the blog posts. Do you see the community growing again, Svea, now?
Yeah, definitely. So what we launched at SAP TechEd is the group. This is replacing, so we have more at the moment, more groups, and there are more to come. But the first group was the SAP TechEd group and the Coffee Corner group. And the Coffee Corner group actually replaced the Coffee Corner section in the community. And this is a really nice and easy way to connect, chat with each other. And they are also in the Coffee Corner, especially off-topic, so non-technical, non-SAP topic. And this is a really cool feature. And now we have recently launched the Enterprise Architecture Group, for example, and the Women in Tech, SAP Women in Tech Group. This is also a great thing to connect and support women in the technology area. So I think these features help also people to connect easily, and we definitely see a lot of people coming back. Maybe the online fatigue is over now, and in-person events are starting back again, and proceed the conversation in the community.
Yeah, power to the community. Yeah. So when I joined SAP in 2016, but before that, I'm doing all my working life doing SAP. But I was thinking, hey, that's a nice company as being SAP to welcome the communities and to facilitate communities with people that actually have a job within the community facilitation, like you, Svea, but like Craig, like Marilyn in the past, like Mark Vinneren, our SAP mentor Herder in the past. And that's still happy. I love my day job, which is totally different, but happy that SAP is still facilitating those communities with blogs, but also with events and to bring everyone together. And I think that's important to feel all be part of the same family.
Yeah, it's also a magnificent job you guys are doing in terms of getting these people to, basically grow so close together and to share so much knowledge, not only in those events, but also in terms of blogs and stuff. It's a sign of the times, but it also shows that SAP is more modern than most people might think.
Yeah, and so and if you are listening or if you are watching, and if you think, oh, could I be part of this community? And then the answer, of course, is yes. And don't be afraid. And there is no barrier, but join the community, maybe join an event and see what happens, and then let you bring to the next stage. Maybe you will be presented on.
Be fast signing up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's also to spot the people that write blogs, because I know I got drawn into the community by Marilyn. She just reached out to me due to a few blogs that I wrote on BPM very long time ago. But you should speak at a community event. Why? I don't dare to do so, but that's how it happened. And find each other, and motivate each other to speak at a community event.
I think this underlines Svea's statement about this is your opportunity also to get over your stage fright, and to get a little bit of exercise with standing on the stage and stuff. And for you, it turned out really well. I mean, the first time you probably did it, you were likely to be shaking and trembling. Yeah. And now it's your day job.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice part. Yeah. Okay. Looking at the time, I think the cafe closes really soon.
It's almost midnight.
It's almost midnight. No, it's not. But any last remarks, Svea?
Any last remarks from my side? I had something in my mind I wanted to say, but I forgot it, same as you. Maybe Ronald goes first.
I forgot.
To put you on the spot.
Maybe I would say sign on. Don't feel hesitant to join the event. And also as a speaker, if you really think you have a good story to tell on whatever topic, if it's BI related or tech related. If it's BI related, of course, you get a big plus. But just go to the sitNL website, press the button, and sign up, and show us what you got.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be BI related.
No, but that helps.
It doesn't need to be something that no one knows. It doesn't need to be a secret or something. A nice experience or something you discovered, something you've built and that really would like to showcase.
Maybe you want to open source something from SAP.
Yeah. What? maybe if you think SAP needs to open source something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like UI5.
Yep.
Yeah, and also you can come there as an attendee, right? You doesn't have to speak, but
sure.
have a look and meet everyone, meet each other. And I also have remembered what I wanted to say. So we have an event listing in SAP community. It's under community.sap.com/events, and there everything is in there. You can even filter for SAP Stammtisch or SAP Inside Track. Have a look into there, find your local event. Hopefully there are coming more and more these days. And if not, join a virtual one, get to know the people a little bit, and then you see the passion behind that. And actually I mentioned this before, this thing what brought me here and to stay also in the community, because the passion is just fabulous and it's a good place to interact. And Twan, you said you're not so active at the moment anymore in the community itself, but it doesn't have to be, right? You can come back, you can go, you can come back. So it's really depending on the topics you are interested in.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And also, so if you are doubting whether your content, as you just explained, is valuable, stop doubting. Because maybe just share what you have learned, because there are always new people joining the community that are interested in your learning path. So you're also an experienced and seasoned SAP professional. You don't think about the first steps, but somebody who just joined explains the first steps, and somebody who more recently joined can learn from those recent steps. So share what you have learned back to the community. Of course, you don't have to. We cannot have 100 speakers at the event. So it's also especially as what Svea just explained. You can also, of course, join as an attendee. You're more than welcome. Learn from the event, learn from each other, but also have fun with each other. I think fun. We did not discuss the fun topic, but fun is really important also at the community event.
Awesome closing statement.
Yeah, definitely. And remember, I had this little body and mind session at the SAP Inside Track in Frankfurt that was completely off topic. I just tried, and I think it was during the lunch, or not during the lunch break, but in parallel to a coffee break. Yeah. And I had more than 20 participants. I found this really good. So why not trying this one?
Yeah, being off topic, this is a nice example. But also once down in the cellar of the basement of cyber, we had Torsten Frans. And Torsten, known from his, of course, speaking skills and knowledge, a lot of people joined his session. And then he said it was a surprise session. And we had a whiskey tasting session at Inside Track in the Netherlands.
Yeah, but eventually it was not only about whiskey, fortunately.
I only remember the whiskey.
Yeah, that's okay.
You should reach out to Torsten again. Yeah.
There's probably some sort of distortion filter that you've built in somewhere.
All right. Well, okay. Thank you, Svea, for joining our HANA Café today. Thank you, Ronald.
By the way, I'm really happy that you also signed up to do the same thing in the Inside Track in the Netherlands. That's totally awesome tasting. Because we noticed that after lunch, especially, the lunch dip kicks in, and I found your session that you were doing very beneficial in terms of waking my mind and body and soul and everything up again, and to get ready for the next ones. So I'm really happy that you're there with that particular session as well. Very valuable.
So cool. Thank you, Svea. Thank you, Ronald, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ronald. Is Ronald still in? Ronald, for joining.
Yeah, still in. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
I was already getting my second beer, so that's why I was dozing off. But have a great one.
Yeah,
Hope
okay.
to see you guys soon.
Yeah. And Stamgast Jan, thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and thanks all for joining the SAP Inside Track session in this HANA Café, the Netherlands. Sign up June 11 as an attendee or as a speaker for the technical tracks or for the BI tracks, or you just want to join because it's a really nice community and we have a lot of fun together. Thank you and see you next time.
Have a great weekend.